Stand firm and keep the faith.
Hey folks, good morning. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It is Thursday, it's April 10. We welcome everyone on OneSwapMedia.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, TelevisionJamaica.com, my friends in the Cayman Islands, Television Jamaica International, and wherever you are, folks, anywhere in the world. Great to have you with us. Hope you had a great day yesterday. I pray you have an awesome day today and awesome weekend.
Yeah, not true.
Well, go on.
I'm here, my darling. How are you?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Delia Harris, I read it, 18.
Aye.
18 nominations. And you personally got what, 4?
6.
Why? Eh? But the review got 18. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I never know about a reviewer, so you don't get 19 it means.
Man, no one never, like, right now, I'm going to just go buy my clothes, come and with everything.
So, you don't tell me about it. So what is this about now? Tell me what.
You saw Jamaica Land We Love.
Well, I say half of it. Remember?
Right.
Remember, light go.
So this was so we call it Pull Up. You know, Jamaica means pull it up, so it's Pull Up. Jamaica Land We Love, but it's a brand new show.
So it's like a part 2 type of thing?
Yeah, but a brand new show. So we touched everything. You know what?
Anything you want to do?
You know what? I forget thanks to my team, you know. Because the very first day, we sat down and we set some goals for ourselves, individually and as a team. And I think they really delivered on everything.
18? We can't get past that. I feel like you in charge, but you need so much.
No, if I'm in charge, I get 20.
No, man,
they really did what they...
So you personally got what? Supporting actress?
Supporting actress, director. 2 original song, original score.
What
was the other one?
Beautiful.
It was another one.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Even if you know we're nothing, the 18 alone.
I'm happy for the year.
Yeah, man, 18 alone, you can't clear, man. But in a very serious way, I don't know if I've ever heard of any other play that would have got so many nominations. For different reasons.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm trying to think. I'm sure, maybe.
No, sir, you win.
I'm sure.
No, you win.
Oh, what? Sound design.
The sound design, yeah.
Script.
No, man, you win already, man. When we see me, 18?
Yeah.
No, she got clear Hollywood.
I'm proud on my side.
Hollywood, here we come. I not leaving me. I must admit, by the way, it is not the birthday time, but I do want to say very, very happy birthday to the most honorable PJ Patterson.
Yeah.
90 years old today.
Yeah.
And there's a big spread in the newspaper celebrating his birthday. So I haven't seen him in a little while personally, but happy birthday, sir. Someone I've always had a lot of time for.
Shares birthday with my brother.
Okay. Oh, God?
Yes.
The great God?
Yes.
Let me tell you, a long time I don't see him.
Yeah, birthday to them.
Soldier see him, because I don't see him.
Soldier see him all well.
Yeah, man, come here, see him.
Prowler, as Soldier likes to call him.
Soldier Bridget.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, sir. And I pray you live to see many more, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So what's up today? Let me tell you what's going on today. We meet an Emmy Award-winning chef from the Bahamas in Caribbean check-in.
Then how did a shipping container from Brazil land on our shores? We're going to speak with the Coast Guard and the Marine Police, and they're going to try to answer that question.
And in 10 Minutes to Your Health, folks, we explore anxiety disorders and what triggers them.
And we speak with the 2025 Schools Challenge Quiz champions from Titchfield High.
We have a great show lined up, but first, birthdays again to the most honorable PJ Patterson. Let me show you, General Soldier. Where are you? Come with me, General Soldier. I can see if it's on the. Here it is, right here. A great son of Africa is 90. The most honorable Dr. Percival James Patterson, ON, which is the Order of the Nation. I'm not certain I understand what the rest is. OCC, OEPC, QC, KC. No, he's the King's Counsel and he's a former Prime Minister. And I think the longest serving Prime Minister, if memory serves me right. I think he went for some 13 years or more. So happy birthday, sir. And many, many happy returns.
Beautiful.
And I will draw for the phone.
Draw for the phone.
And say happy birthday to, they call him Dale Image. Happy birthday coming from your mom, Michelle, and from the rest of the family. Here is Mas Dale. Happy birthday. Many, many happy returns. Kind of do this for you every year. It's about time you give me a little change for this. Daily, it's about time you give me a change. I do it for you every year. That is one.
Hey.
And very special. This lady, happy birthday. Her name is Imani Smith. She's a University of Miami graduate, a bachelor degree in chemistry, and she'll be doing her doctorate in pharmacist in August this year at Nova University.
Nice.
And this is coming from your dad and your mom and your little brother. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Fantastic work that you have done and are doing, and good luck with your doctorate, soon to be Dr. Smith. And I can tell people, say, Menua, Dr. Smith. So happy, happy birthday again from mom, dad, and from your brother and from us. Methinks that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lloyd Brooks, he's a photographer everywhere we go.
Yeah, man.
He captures everything for us. So his first great-grandchild, Kai Malik Brooks, was 1 year old yesterday. And Soldier Bolgy, Vinny, yeah?
Yeah.
Kai Malik Brooks. He is so proud of himself, you know. Dana, this is my first great-grandchild. So.
There you go, you got it.
There is Kai.
Yep.
Nice.
I also think today is the birth date of the outstanding Neville Livingston. Who's that?
Bonnie Whaler.
Aye. On the days that I know that, you know.
Bonnie Whaler.
Bonnie Whaler, I think they're having some stuff today.
Yeah.
Trenchtown, and later on they're
up at the university as well.
Yeah, they're having I think they're having a stage show.
Yeah.
It's off Malines Road, Greendale or Greenvale or something like that.
I think the Great Whaler would have been 78.
Yeah, 78. Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Amazingly, they still have not heard or seen anything of his wife. That's amazing. All right, so here are some other folks having a birthday today. Have some fun. Time for the hot topics, folks.
Here we go.
So Jamaica's tax authority does not have an accurate count of demonstration or blue license plates currently in circulation. This admission by the Honourable Minister Darrell Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport. Now it comes amid what he describes as the growing concerns about the widespread misuse of demonstration plates. Demonstration license plates are issued to car dealerships to facilitate the movement of vehicles from the wharf, showcase vehicles to customers, and for promotional purposes such as automobile shows. But according to Mr. Vaz, in many cases, these plates are not being used as intended under the Road Traffic Act and associated regulations. So during a post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday, the minister said, I quote, "Disturbingly, there is credible evidence that demonstration plates are being exploited by individuals to facilitate criminal activities." He said the issue is compounded by the fact that unlike other license plates in circulation, the police are currently unable to trace demonstration plates through their smart check system. The lack of control over this system poses a serious threat to public safety and national security, Mr. Vaz said, adding that the misuse of blue plates is also an area of revenue loss for the government.
Wow.
So, to address these issues, Mr. Vaz disclosed that there will be a total revamp of the existing regime, which will be replaced by a web-based system, a web-based permit system that will allow car dealers to access demonstration plates as required. The new system, which is projected to cost approximately $10 million and will require legislative changes, is expected to be in place within a few months. In addition, there will be a total recall of all demonstration plates, the minister disclosed. The deadline for the plates to be handed in will be announced shortly.
Wow.
I remember I had to give in my car to service, and I was given a courtesy car, and it had blue plates. And every minute I get stopped. And the police was telling me that apparently what Mr. Vaz was saying, that there were some security concerns and apparently people were stealing cars and putting
on blue plates.
Yeah. So every minute I was stopped. I mean, obviously I had the right papers and stuff. So y'all be careful when you see those blue plates. Yep.
It's important.
Yep.
Wow. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is urging Jamaicans, Neville and I were talking a little bit about this morning, to prioritize drafting wills. He's stressing the significant burden placed on the Office of the Administrator General due to the absence of clear instructions for estate distribution. According to Minister Chuck, the Administrator General currently holds over 50 billion worth of property and an additional 5 billion in bank accounts that remain undistributed. These delays, he explained, are largely due to disputes among beneficiaries. Chuck said at the moment persons who have not made a will have caused a burden. They have in excess, as I said, of 50 billion that they would like to distribute amongst beneficiaries, and because they're fighting or cannot agree, that is filled up by the Administrator General. He's emphasized the importance of proactive estate planning, encouraging all Jamaicans to prepare a will and to urge others to do the same. There are a lot of people, when you mention preparing a will, they're very superstitious and they feel preparing a will
means you're going to die,
calling death upon yourself. But if Minister Chuck should expand on the level of crime associated with disputes coming from a will, listen, save your family members, the grief, the violence, the everything.
All right, we move on. So Vybz Kartel says he will never bleach again, attributing his past choices to issues of self-love. He discussed his skin bleaching history during a recent appearance on the Hot 97 radio show with American radio personality and presenter Ebro Darden. Reflecting on that period of his life, he said, and I quote, "I mean, in hindsight, it definitely had to do with self-love, but on the other hand, while I was doing it, my mind wasn't telling me that. My mind was telling me I'm doing this to show my tattoos. I got a lot of tattoos, but looking back, it was just as a black man, sometimes you have those issues, but I would never bleach again." He also shared during the interview that he has reduced his alcohol and smoking habits and look forward to marrying his girlfriend, Sidem Öztürk, and having Turkish children. There you go. They'll be Jamaican also.
Yes, and she's looking forward to having Jamaican children vibes. Wow. People like the end of an era are changing of the guard. Ramay Gordon has stepped down as co-managing director of fashion and lifestyle at Pulse, effective March 31. Gordon previously held portfolio responsibilities for the Caribbean Model Search, Caribbean Fashion Week, and the Pulse Model Agency. She remains a member of the board, but has also resigned from her role as company secretary, and that came through a release from the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Safia Cooper, daughter of Kingsley Cooper, will assume the post of managing director. Pulse chairman Hilary Phillips confirmed the changes during the company's annual general meeting Wednesday morning at Villa Renai in Stony Hill. A former Jamaica fashion model winner and international model, Gordon was integral in steering the careers of several of the company's international models. She was also host and producer of a number of Pulse television shows, including Caribbean Fashion Weekly, Ready for CFW, and the Caribbean Model Search reality television series.
Yep, my friend Ramay.
Yeah, man. Look forward to what's next for her.
And good luck wherever you plan to go and whatever you plan to do. Good luck, Ramay. So, the United States President announced a complete 3-month pause on all the reciprocal tariffs that went into effect at midnight, with the exception of China. A stunning reversal from a president who had insisted historically high tariffs were here to stay. But enormous tariffs will remain on China, the world's second largest economy. In fact, Mr. Trump said they will be increased to 125% from 104% after China announced additional retaliatory tariffs against the United States earlier Wednesday. All other countries that were subjected to reciprocal tariff rates Wednesday will see rates go back down to the universal 10% rate. Mexico and Canada won't face the 10% tariffs. This is coming from a White House official. Almost every good coming from the two nations will continue to be tariffed at 25% unless they are compliant with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, in which case they won't face tariffs. However, that does not apply to sector-specific tariffs Trump has imposed. Wall Street breathed a sigh of relief that Trump was backing down on other extreme trade measures. Stocks rallied sharply on the news, even though the 10% universal tariff on all imports coming to the United States remained in effect.
Okay.
125%?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that can't make sense.
Yeah. Do you know what I did? Which I'm sure a lot of people, because once I started typing it, it popped up on my phone. Chicken export from Brazil. I was curious because of what happened in Helcha. Yeah. And I discovered that Brazil is actually one of the biggest exporters of chicken in the world.
It was heading to the Cayman Islands, was it?
Yeah, but Cayman is not even their biggest market. Like, Brazil makes billions from exporting chicken. I was like, I never knew you could export chicken and make so much money.
Yeah.
Nebs, Brazil are going with that thing. It's like, and they said for 2025, they expected it to be even more. What was the figure I saw? 8 billion US? Wow. It was a lot of money.
Wow.
I was like, I need to go start grow some chicken. and why are you looking at me like 8 million US? Jamaica will have to start do something about chicken export.
8 million US, me don't grow anything. Me don't grow anything.
They have markets all over the world. No, we have to start with something before something do we.
By the way,
if I know chicken could I get so much money exporting.
Some sport news now. The West Indies ladies, the captain Hayley Matthews, she made 114 from 113 balls, and the West Indies lose the match. Yeah. This is
who are they playing?
Scotland, and this is a World Cup qualifier. So Scotland made 244, and the West Indies made 233. Wow. But Hayley Matthews, she retired hurt, then came back and was unbeaten at 114. She's an outstanding cricketer because she took 4 wickets in the first inning.
Yeah.
The Scotland, outstanding cricketer.
And we still never make it.
And we still did make it. So there are a couple more games. Hopefully they will. The other thing is the reggae girls losing again to Mexico. They lost the first one 3-0, lost the second one 4-0. But Dion Burton, I don't know if you know Dion Burton is an assistant coach.
I just saw it on the news. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah, because they scored all the goals in the first half. So Coach Burton was saying, can you imagine I used to coach him?
Yeah.
Funniest thing with him is I did commentary during that time, as you know. And he scored, I think it was the Canada game, because remember he was scoring like
every game.
I think he got Sportsman of the Year also. He just scored. So every time he saw me, he would say, Coach, do the commentary again. And it was so funny for him to just stand there and listen to me. And me like, I idiot, and I do it right in front of them. And I'm saying, here's Harris, down the line, inside. And Burton scores. He says, yeah. And the other thing, yesterday, some football players yesterday, Barcelona, 4-0 over Borussia Dortmund. This is the first leg quarterfinal. And PSG 3-1 over Aston Villa. Some really, really good goals. And the day before, Arsenal beating Real Madrid.
It was funny because before the match started, they captured Kylian Mbappe greeting Thierry Henry because Thierry was there to do commentary. And they said to Thierry, what did you say to him? And Thierry said, I'm happy to see you, but when the match starts, I don't want to see you.
Because it was Arsenal. But there were 2 amazing free kicks from Declan Rice and a big-time goal. Is what Marino? Marino scored the third one. And then the surprise for me, because I said earlier that the semi-finalists would be Barcelona, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and PSG. Well, PSG behind. Inter Milan beat them 2-1. So PSG, they have some work to do. But the other 3 look like, well, Mike, I'm still nervous about Real Madrid. When you meet Real Madrid in
Real Madrid is a different.
What do you call it? The Bernabeu?
It's a
different thing.
Different team.
And I tell you,
team on fire.
And I tell you something, you know, Arsenal could have scored so many goals, but that goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, he was amazing.
Exceptional.
He made some brilliant saves, but some really good football in the 4 games. Really, really good football, and I look forward to the second leg. I still think Bayern will make it, and I hope the final is Arsenal against Barcelona. I don't know if it can work because I'm not certain how this semi-final pairings. Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. I said that. Yeah. So I really hope and if that is the final, then we can't lose because I'm 2 team them.
Yeah, no.
But I like Arsenal win because they haven't won a big title in a long time.
Henry says the team he loves most in the world.
Yeah, man. But Madrid at home, you could have lead them 9 love. It's not done till it's done.
Nah.
All right, that's it for the hot topics for some sports.
That's a hot topic.
First edition of News in 5. When we come back, then we start our interviews, and I'll have the first one. Soon come.
Good morning, I'm Shamela Pullen with News in 5 for Thursday, April 10. Special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. Public passenger vehicle operators will soon be able to import their vehicles directly from manufacturers overseas. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced on Monday at Cabinet that they revised the 2014 PPV importation policy. This allows tax-compliant operators to source and purchase vehicles without going through a dealer or their associations.
To apply for an import license in his company's name or his personal name. He has the option to import that vehicle directly by going online to the auctions, going to direct to suppliers in Japan or wherever else, and buy it at source, which means that he is not being held to the point of where he has to pay additional cost to dealers, middlemen, whoever you call it. Before, you had to use a tax association that you are a member of.
The policy will last for 2 years. However, Mr. Vaz didn't say how soon it will come into effect. He says the minister will be collaborating with the trade board to determine the most efficient way to proceed. The vehicles can have seating capacity for up to 32 people.
For the public passenger transport sector, imported vehicles with seating capacity not exceeding 8 persons must not be older than 10 years, up from 8 years. Imported vehicles with seating capacity between 12 and 15 persons must not be older than 15 years. And imported vehicles without seating capacity between 26 and 32 seats must not be older than 15 years.
Meanwhile, the Transport Authority is now accepting applications for 23 new route taxi routes in the Kingston metropolitan region. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says 11 of them were originally JUTC routes. He made the announcement during post-cabinet press briefing Wednesday.
There's this feeling that the JUTC is competing against the public transportation operators. Absolutely not. What we are doing is streamlining and making sure that what JUTC can manage because they don't have the fleet, rather than holding it as exclusive, they release it so that new routes, so that will be 23 new routes in the KMTR. 23 new routes. Just think about what that will do to expand the ability for commuters to travel and also operators to earn.
The South Parade car park in downtown Kingston has been earmarked in anticipation of the influx of public passenger vehicles because of the new routes.
The KSAMC has agreed with the Transport Authority to convert the South Parade car park into a taxi car park. This new car park will be the terminal point for 4 route taxi routes. The facility will help in alleviating the chronic traffic congestion in downtown Kingston, and some amount of retrofitting is required, and the authorities are working collaboratively to identify sources of funding.
Meanwhile, over in Discover Bay St. Anne, the municipal corporation is expected to break ground for a car park to host over 200 PPV operators.
This facility, as it stands now, will serve as a main terminal point for over 250 taxis operating in that area. The land that is going to be utilized was gifted to the St. Anne Municipal Corporation as a gift from Noranda Bauxite, and based on engineering and construction estimates, a little under $10 million. This will be a joint venture partnership between the Transport Authority, the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, and Noranda.
To other news now, the Arakabessa Primary School in St. Mary, which was partially destroyed by fire almost 2 months ago, received well-needed financial support towards recovery efforts. On Monday, they received funding totaling $1 million.
This gift of $1 million will help greatly in replacing some of the items we lost in the fire. For the PE department, they lost a lot. And we have been given some items from the foundation to the tune of $170,000 already. So we'll seek to provide the netballers, the footballers, the athletics team, and the cricketers as much as possible to get some gear. We also need a surveillance system on the compound. We have one that we will seek to repair. So there is security, some sort of security outside of manpower on the compound.
And that's the news in 5. I'm Shamela Pullen. Stay tuned. Smile Jamaica continues.
All right, folks, so the second annual JPS Foundation Power Up Energy Club debate competition is successfully concluded, I'm told, bringing together 18 high schools from across Jamaica to engage in thought-provoking discussions on energy, STEM, and climate change. We are joined by Andre Richardson, who JPS Foundation officer, and the winning team from Woolmer's Boys. So I'll call the name and you can just put up here. Apollos Joels, captain. Jordan Dixon, Tyler Bennett, Alden Williams, and Kyle Kamika. Morning, everyone, and congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Andre, let me start with you. What was the inspiration behind launching the Power Up Energy Club debate competition?
All right. So, well, the inspiration behind this competition was last year we decided that we have energy clubs, what we call energy clubs in high schools all across the island, where they focus on STEM education, climate change, and, understanding the JPS grid. And we decided, okay, they're having this club and they're talking about these topics, but how do we know that they actually understand what they're talking about? So we thought, give them an opportunity to express and have meaningful conversations, and a debate competition is what we came up with. We thought it was a little bit tricky because, a lot of students who are science students, they tend to stay away from debate competition. So we said, try to take them out of their comfort zone a little bit and give them the opportunity to debate. We also said, a lot of students who are debaters, they tend to be not really science students, are interested in science. So we said, this is an opportunity to draw them to the Energy Club as well. So that's what we decided on, and it actually was very rewarding.
And it was specific to those areas?
Yes, definitely. So we focus a lot, as I said, on climate change and energy conservation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apollos, to get to the victory, how many schools would you have played against?
I believe we would have played a total of 5 rounds.
5? Mm-hmm. And it would be different, what do you call it, moot?
Different motions, yes.
Yeah, different motions in all the time? Or,
indeed.
Yeah? Why are you a debater in the first place?
I have a passion for speaking. I love to speak. I love to defend different perspectives and points. And when I look at what this competition has really done for me in that regard, I'm seeing a lot of development in that area.
But that is the first I hear somebody say, I chat plenty, but him say, I have a passion for speaking. Which means you chat plenty, though. Jordan, you're next. Why are you involved in this? And what was your role in all of this?
Well, why I decided to become a debater was actually from Apollos, because he debated in fourth form, and I always admired the clarity and the way he was able to articulate himself, and I really wanted to join debating to actually develop myself as a speaker and also develop my critical thinking and my ability to think on my feet.
Oh, beautiful. Do you have a specific role?
I typically play the second speaker.
Second speaker?
Yeah.
All right, where am I now? Tyler.
Yes.
Tyler, you look kind of quiet today. You don't look like you're a chat plenty person. Apollo said, no, go so him chat plenty. How was it for you?
Well, the reason why I mainly joined debating was that, yes, at first I was socially anxious, a little bit on that side. But when I realized that public speaking is like a very much essential skill for the future, I need to be able to voice my opinions. And whereas majority of my friends, Apollos and Kyle, was in debating from fourth form, that gave me the push and the edge to join the competition.
Beautiful. And did you have a specific area?
Yes. Throughout the competition, my role was to be the third speaker, the final.
Third speaker. I'm going to explain that to me in a little while. Alden, your time. What about you? Why are you here and what did you do?
Oh, okay. So the main reason why I joined debating, ever since I was a child, I loved talking. I love speaking. I always liked public speaking. I did it quite often. And in fifth form last year, I would have joined debating with Kyle and Apollos, and it's been great ever since. I liked speaking, as I just said, and being able to articulate and express myself well is very important. And for my role in this competition, I mainly helped with the preparation, critiquing and tweaking, everyone to ensure that everything's good.
Okay, Kyle, what about you?
I think Mr. Jones would have mentioned it, but I have a passion for justice. I believe for justice, for representing points of view and perspectives, which I believe, or strongly believe in. And in debating, you're able to understand various perspectives and build your worldview, which I believe, starting in fourth form, was able to do and able to garner a greater knowledge base on certain issues. My role was, just like Mr. Williams, was for the background. I was helping them in preparing their speeches, in ensuring all the tweaks and everything were up to date and all the information was good, helping craft aspects of the speech and doing my best to motivate them along the way as their president.
Oh, beautiful. Apollos, I think in debate sometimes you have to defend something that you don't really agree with.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you?
Honestly, for the most part, I'd say we were fortunate enough to defend
what you agreed with.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, beautiful. Who did you play in the final? The defending champions?
Herbert Morrison Technical, wonderful match. They did come with as unique arguments as we would expect. Definitely challenging, and it was a rewarding experience because you could really see the talent and the knowledge that they portrayed.
Before I go back to Andre, explain first speaker, second speaker. What is that?
Oh, all of them?
No, I mean, what? So you speak first, then somebody from the other school, and then what? The second speaker come and says foolishness in my talk?
Yeah, so pretty much how it goes, you have the two first speakers, then there's a period, in this competition specifically, cross-questioning period, which was especially important because it helped you to get an understanding or really see just how knowledgeable these individuals are on the topic. And then you have the 2 second speakers, another period of cross-questioning, and then the third speaker would close it.
Is there a most important speaker here? Is it the first one, the second one, the third one, or no?
In all honesty, I'd like to think that they're all equally important because they all have very specific roles, because naturally, as you'd assume, the first speaker would have to get through that means of contextualization and establishment of status quo, so we're able to better understand the situation as the average intelligent.
No, you're a good captain, if you never say everybody equal, them would knock them out. Andre, back to you. How does the competition align with the foundation's broader goals in education and stuff?
Well, it very much aligns with us. When I grow up, I want to be able to can speak like Apollos, and that's really the purpose of this competition, to have confidence from these students, to allow them to express themselves confidently, to allow them to debate on these topics of, as I said, STEM education and climate resilience, and definitely for us as JPS Foundation to, support the schools, because it is a competition that we do put a cash prize towards. So the students and the teachers and coaches that are here in studio to support these gentlemen, they definitely also are supported in this competition.
Cash prize?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Apollos, you know me, are you related, though? Apollos, you're my nephew. Oh, yeah,
I don't believe I recall that being the case.
Congratulations. Fantastic work. Fantastic. And keep on. What you want to be when you leave school?
A lawyer.
A lawyer? No surprise.
Well, I want to be an actuary.
An actuary?
Yeah.
Someone in the medical field.
Medical field?
Yes.
Attorney at law.
Lawyer?
Lawyer as well.
That don't surprise me. You see, when you start talking, it sounds like a lawyer. Good luck. And anything you feel you can do, you can do.
Thank you.
Stick with it. God bless you. Andre Richardson, JPS Foundation Officer, and members of the Women's Boys debating team, the winners, Apollos Joels, Jordan Dixon, Tyler Bennett, Alden Williams, and Kyle Kamika. Are the teachers here? Just want to make them see up on TV, no run come. When they can't talk, but run come make them see up on TV. Champion teachers, just come behind me here. What's your name, sir?
Miguel Foster.
Miguel Foster. Miss?
Paula Samuels.
Paula.
Morning, nice
Paula.
Samuel.
Paula Samuels. Winners, man. Just stand up right here. Well, me night too, so I'm a winner. All right, when we come back, we head to Bahamas for a Caribbean check-in. Daily will have it.
Today we're joined by a talented and award-winning chef who is not just a chef, he's a storyteller who's deeply committed to preserving the traditions of his heritage while introducing innovative twists to beloved dishes. Bahamian Simeon Hall Jr. joins us, and he's going to share more about his journey and his mission to honor Caribbean culinary history. Good morning, Simeon. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning, and thanks so much for having me. You made me sound so smart just now.
I did, and please do not make me into a liar.
No, you're not. I'm absolutely delighted to be here to continue with this mission that we've been given, which is to tell stories through food. Your plate is your flag.
Yeah.
And we all identify with who we are through our food.
Yeah. I introduced you as an Emmy Award-winning chef, so I have to qualify that. Talk to me a little bit about the Emmy and what was it for?
Well, we did some production work and assistance on Caribbean Cookout Season 2. One of the episodes was nominated, and subsequently we won for that episode. And so that was such a delight, not just for me personally, not just for the Bahamas, but for the Caribbean. And I'm so glad to say that we're getting ready to shoot Season 3. And so that's super exciting.
Oh, I'm super excited as well. Tell me a little bit about your journey into the culinary arts. What started your love for culinary arts?
Well, I have one of those fairy tale stories. Both my grandmothers were chefs. Actually, one of my dad's mom was one of the first restaurant owners here in the Bahamas. Okay. And then my mom's mom, she was also a chef for her entire life. And so, I grew up around food. Food was always something that I was around. I went to school to do guidance counseling in biology. Yes. Actually, I have probably less than a semester left to go to graduate in that field. But I left all that behind so that I could come home and tell stories. And that story hasn't stopped since then. Wow. So it's been about 30 years since I've been in the industry professionally. Yeah. But really and truly, I started at the age of 7, where I got my first paycheck working at my grandmother's restaurant.
Oh, God bless her. She did pay you. She
did. It was $14. I'll never forget it. And I thought I was a millionaire when I got my first paycheck.
One of the things about food is that it connects us, Tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit about how you made that connection between food, storytelling, and then I'm going to throw in history as well.
Well, I tell people this story all the time, and I find it to be very, very true. Anytime I'm not too sure about a dish and I go to talk to guests, I always say it's my grandmother's recipe.
Yes.
And anytime you say that, everybody says it's absolutely amazing. Why? Because nobody wants to offend somebody's grandmother. And so, once you have that, once you start that journey, it never stops. And so I've been working and asking questions and wanting to know why and and sitting down and telling people stories from as long as I could remember. And everybody know food is fellowship. Once you start eating, even if you're upset, you can't eat when you're mad unless you have some sort of social problem. But, sitting down and talking food, talking about history, talking about all the elements of food. Food is political. Food is physiological. Food is mental. There's so many connections when it comes to food.
Yeah, there are. So, can you share one of your favorite Bahamian dishes and tell me a little bit about its cultural significance?
Well, one of my favorite, and you just put the picture on the screen there, one of my favorite dishes from the Bahamas is conch salad. And the reason why it's one of my favorite is because, one, most people equate the Bahamas with conch.
Yes.
And secondly, every island, I call it island specificity. Every island in the Bahamas, every major island in the Bahamas has a different interpretation of conch salad. Yeah. So when you go to Grand Bahama, there's a different version of it, which is pickled conch. When you come to New Providence, where I am, there's tropical conch salad. When you go to Bimini, they put garlic salt in the conch salad. And the amazing thing is, all of those versions are very specific to those islands. So within the Bahamas, just as the Caribbean, we're the same, but we're so different. You know what I mean? And
yes.
And you see that through food.
Yeah. You have a lot of experience on the international stage. How do you see Caribbean cuisine? I don't even want to say merging, because I feel like Caribbean cuisine is kind of taking over the international palette. You know what I mean? I don't know if you'd agree with me, but I see that kind of movement happening.
Yeah, most definitely. You see there's a resurgence when it comes to the difference between authentic and traditional foods. And you're seeing that in a lot of ethnic food and then in the diaspora. Yes. And so when it comes to Caribbean food, we've always had a good showing globally. But one of the things that I have to say is Jamaica has made history. Jamaica has always been the forerunner when it comes to people identifying what they believe Caribbean cuisine is. And so luckily, as partners, you guys have given us an in inside the door. And, now it's time for individual Caribbean countries to step up to the plate so that people know that we are more than just jerk. And we are more than just, comforters. And we are more than just sun, sun, and sea. There's so much to be delivered through food when you talk about the Caribbean.
Yeah. I was trying to remember what I had in the Bahamas. It was kind of like a broth. It was a white fish. What was it? What was it, Simeon?
Boiled fish.
Yeah.
Boiled fish.
Boiled fish.
Boiled fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boiled fish was actually on the books, the national dish of the Bahamas. But again, because we are 700 islands, keys, and rocks, 14 major islands, you go throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas, and you'll hear that we have several different national dishes. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, that has been a part of my journey as well, not just to talk about the traditions and the authenticity of Bahamian food internationally, but also locally.
I love it. We have to go, but where do we find you? Online.
Well, you can find me online. You can Google me. I'm so fortunate to be Googleable. So Simeon Hall Jr., Chef Simeon Hall Jr., and also my website is simeonhalljr.com. And may I just pause to say thank you so much for including other Caribbean islands and countries in your conversation. This is so dope. And this is exactly what I'm trying to do with my work, just to get the message out to everybody.
It was so cool to have you. And my next trip to the Bahamas, I got to hook you up and get myself some good conch salad.
Yeah, I'll show you the real Bahamas through food, for sure.
Thank you. Emmy Award-winning chef, Simeon Hall Jr. And that's it for our Caribbean Check-In. Oh man, it's been in the news. A shipping container mysteriously washing up on our shores. We're going to hear from the Coast Guard and Marine Police about their procedures for monitoring cargo out at sea. We'll soon come back. So last week, a shipping container from Brazil bound for the Cayman Islands ended up on the Helsha coastline. Why was such a large container made to wash up on our shores without being intercepted by the authorities? That's one of the questions people are asking, right? So here to help us better understand how this happened are, joining me shortly on Zoom, Superintendent Eglon Samuels from the Marine Division of the JCF, and with us in studio, Lieutenant Commander Miguel Ferguson, who's the commanding officer, 1st District Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to both of you, and good morning to your viewers.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me this morning.
It's our pleasure, sir, and thank you so much for your service. When did we know that a container was, for want of a better word, loose?
So, as per protocol, once cargo vessels are entering any port or harbor or traversing in our maritime space, then they have to notify Shipping and Port Authority. Once the situation with the container developed, which is an unplanned incident, the container fell overboard on and around Friday evening. And when we were alerted to it, then naturally, as per our response protocols, then we naturally alerted all shipping in the area. Because
Sorry to jump in, sir. Alerted by whom?
By the ship would naturally...
Oh, the ship itself?
Good.
So the ship did know that... The
container fell off.
Yeah?
And alerted the Port Authority to the container that fell off. As part of our response and protocol, let me indicate that the role of the Coast Guard is twofold primarily: maritime safety and maritime law enforcement. For maritime safety, our response mechanism is surrounding search and rescue, oil spill response and response to hazardous materials or substances, and also for the inspection of pleasure craft.
Yeah. Just before Delia, did you know what was in the container? Did they tell you what was in the container?
So with all containers, Neville, I would indicate that the container number and the manifest for the Port Authority will indicate to you what's in the container. So the container was indicated to have a poultry within the container, which was known to the authorities through the manifest. The response for us in terms of our mechanism is that if in the event that there was hazardous substance because of our maritime safety responsibility, naturally our response mechanism and protocol would have been treated with containment and also disposal of hazardous material. But in this instance, the container had poultry. And so for our response, as I was saying earlier, for maritime safety, that's what our protocol entailed. And the maritime law enforcement would deal with drug interdiction and narcotics interdiction and so forth. So we would naturally, in this instance, activated our mechanism, responded to doing a couple things. Firstly, ensuring that shipping in the area is aware that the container fell overboard to ensure for maritime safety so that no collision occurs at sea. And then we move to deploying our assets to identify, locate, and track the movement of the container so that we can collaborate with other agencies who have direct responsibility to treat with the other aspect of the protocols. So all of that was done on our part once we were alerted to the container falling overboard.
I'm hearing you, Lieutenant. I'm going to tell you what I'm taking away from what you said and tell me if I'm incorrect. That once an assessment was done in terms of the risk level of the container, then you put the necessary protocols in place.
Correct, and collaborated with the respective agencies to treat with their action protocols for container. Because one thing I need to point out to you is that the JDF Coast Guard does not do salvaging of vessels or containers at sea.
Okay.
So that's not a part of our protocol or mechanism. That is treated with through respective salvage companies and agencies. But we treat with maritime safety protocols to ensure that navigational safety is maintained all around within our maritime domain.
Was there a way to determine, I know it's floating, so it might be difficult. Was there a way to determine, where the container would end up? once you heard where it fell overboard, was there a trajectory to say, well, there's a possibility that it would be along the St. Catherine shores?
Certainly. For the equatorial current that surrounds Jamaica, there's a particular drift generally to the west or southwesterly direction. So once the container fell overboard in the respective area, the understanding of that eventually it would wash westerly.
Okay.
And so will make landfall at some point.
Yep. Taylor said earlier that we were trying to get Superintendent Samuels. Apparently, we were unable to get Superintendent Samuels. I say that because he's the JCF, you're the JDF.
Correct.
Whose responsibility would it be out in the water? And did it fall in Jamaican waters?
Right. The container fell overboard within our territorial waters.
Okay, so would you be the first person or would it be the JCF?
Once it's within our maritime domain and not onshore, the first response mechanism, once it's not inland waterway, which is within our ports area, that's primary responsibility falls initially with the Coast Guard for maritime safety mechanism, and which, as indicated, we activated our protocols to treat with maritime safety issues.
Yep. Daly already kind of asked the question, but if we knew where it was and we knew where it was going, how come the regular Joe got there before the official folks?
Well, in this instance, as we were doing our response mechanism, as it's unfortunate that the response of the public outpaced the relevant agency to
Which is my
respond
question, sir.
to
Why?
secure.
But why? That's my question.
It merely may be due to access limitations. Terrain limitation is accessing the area as quickly as possible, and as such, the response mechanism on the part of respective agencies to secure the shoreline and also the container may have been limited at that. But once they got on scene, I'm aware that they naturally went on to securing the area and containing the situation. As for us, on our part, once let me say that maritime safety or public safety generally is a shared responsibility among agencies. So when the container fell overboard and the collaboration started with the various entities and agencies to treat with their respective protocols, once it washed up on shore, no, it requires for securing the scene on a shoreline base for the respective agencies so that they can now contain the situation there, as it's no longer within
the Coast
domain
Guard
outside of shore, the shoreside facilities. So we are dealing with matters at sea.
yes.
For maritime safety.
It would require Superintendent Samuels to be here to speak on behalf of.
And I know you've been very politically correct, sir. And I'm not certain we are trying to blame someone for this. I think we're trying to find out why it happened and to ensure it doesn't happen again. But I'm still not getting whose responsibility it was when that container was heading towards Jamaica to ensure that it either didn't reach or it was protected when it got here.
Well, let me indicate that loss of shipping containers at sea is not an uncommon incident. So worldwide, there's over 1,300 shipping container lost every year. So it's not
at sea.
So
they just fall off our ship.
It's not uncommon. It may be not so common in the Jamaican maritime space, but it's something that happens at sea. So for various reasons, so the weather condition, improper securing of containers on board the ship, there's a number of reasons that will cause a container to fall overboard. So in this instance, as indicated, it was an unplanned incident. So the container fell overboard for some reason, and then naturally the response mechanism would kick in, because the ship has a responsibility to alert the maritime authorities that the container...
There's something overboard.
And then we have a responsibility for maritime safety. One, broadcast to ensure shipping navigation safety is maintained, and identify the location of a container to collaborate with respective agencies for their response mechanism once it reaches a shoreline, as we were tracking, because we are unable to, in terms of our mechanism, to do any salvaging of any containers at sea.
I don't know if you know this, but did the ship, so it fall off, and the ship just go about its business and say, well, did it try to salvage it, or send any divers or anything like that, or it fall off, and say, well, it fall off, and we're going home?
But under maritime law and responsibility for port state control and port matters, that falls under responsibility now with the port authorities and the Maritime Authority of Jamaica to ensure that any mechanism that they have in place for the ship being liable for the container falling overboard and for any type of recovery mechanism is treated with as per what the requirements under maritime laws and port state control is.
So what happened? We couldn't have done anything about it.
In terms of the container falling overboard,
and washing up and stuff like that.
Right, because once the container is in the water,
we couldn't have got it before it got to Helsha.
No, because once the container fell overboard, there is no immediate mechanism to pull the container back up on a ship, right? Because that would take heavy lifting equipment and crane, somebody to secure a container and try to pull the container to water, which in itself is a dangerous activity, especially under the weather condition that we had over the last weekend.
Do you have the same role as the Marine Police, the JCF? Do you have the same role?
The Marine Police mostly focus on matters within our inland spaces and within the territorial water, within a 12 nautical mile. Our main focus is based on our maritime law enforcement responsibilities. We do narcotics interdiction and treat with matters more further offshore and further near coastal than them. So everything now closer to shore and on land is now police responsibility, except for different laws that we're governed under that allows us to treat with wildlife and aquaculture and fisheries responsibilities.
Okay.
Still not certain that I am any closer to find out what really went on, but thank you so very much for coming, sir. And again, thank you for your service, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you again for your viewers, and thank you for having me.
So we did not, we're not able to speak with Superintendent Eglon Samuels, but we were very happy that Lieutenant Commander Miguel Ferguson, who is the commanding officer, 1st District of Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard, was able to come. Thanks again, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we hear from members of the national swim team before they head off to the Carifta Games. So come. All right, folks, Jamaica's national swim team gearing up for the 2025 Carifta Games in Trinidad and Tobago. With the countdown on, we're catching up with assistant coach Lamone Lowe and two of the team's talented athletes, Alison Thomas, there she is, and Kai Radcliffe. All right, I almost said Kyle, but I'm glad it's not Kyle. Him name Kyle and him have no sense, so I'm glad it's Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Congrats on making the Jamaica team again.
Thank you.
But coach, hold on. How you feel now?
Excited, man. Excited.
Yeah?
Very excited.
Tell me about the competition. What are we expecting here?
Big things. These guys have been working hard. We have had a lot of affirmations about the belief system, that they are worthy and they deserve to be here. And so they understand that concept and they have been working hard in the pool. So I look forward to going to Trinidad and letting them know that we are here.
All right, Addison, tell me the age group and what do you call it?
The stroke I'm doing?
I was going to say the style, but the stroke that you do.
I'm going to compete in the 11 to 12 age group, and I'm doing all the strokes, so that's butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle.
All of them?
Yes, all of
them. This is not the first time you're representing the country.
No.
What is that like? What is that like when the coach said, pick the team and you're representing Jamaica? How do you feel about that?
It's really exciting. Every single time I've been named to a team, I'm always excited. Like, just to be able to represent my country is an honor. So I'm just, yeah.
Beautiful. Why swimming in the first place?
Well, I grew up watching my brother swim because he's 7 years older than me. So from that, my parents just said, okay, you do swimming, so she's going to do swimming as well. And from there, I've just been swimming.
And you know your competitors? Do you know the times that they have done in the different events and stuff?
Yeah.
And having said that, gold medal?
Yep, that's always the strive. Yeah, that's always a strive
Realistically?
Well, realistically, probably not gold, but definitely in medal contention.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Kai, what one? Tell me about you now, age group and
well, my age group.
Age group and stroke.
My age group is 15 to 17. My good and only stroke is breaststroke.
Breaststroke. So how would that go again now?
Yeah.
See, me have the thing. See, them never have me on camera, you know, because me have the thing, you know. Why that stroke?
It came natural to me, to be honest.
Okay. Same question to Addison. You've represented the country before. What was that feeling like?
I've represented the country and it feels amazing, to be honest. I mean, you have the different competitors from different countries, and with that competition, you have strong bonds. And then, you know how everybody likes Jamaica gear, so you give a Jamaica gear, you give a Jamaica gear. But you have a lot of pride within yourself to say, I've represented the country.
Why swimming?
Swimming, I grew up watching my older cousin, who also represented the country in Carifta and CC Can, and I was inspired.
Yeah. Addison, coach said you guys been really training hard. What kind of training? How often? How every day? How long you stay in the pool? What else you do? You lift weights, all kind of thing. You run, go up to hill and come back. What you do?
Well, national training is different from like my normal training schedule, but for national training, we train twice a week, Saturday and Sundays. And well, my normal training, I train 6 days a week, 9 times a week. So
hold on, man. Go on again. 9 times a week?
9 times a week.
Sessions, yeah.
Yeah, 9 sessions, 6
Okay.
days.
And do you do outside of the pool? What do you do?
Well, on Saturdays, with my normal training routine, I would go to the hill, do some hill sprints, endurance work, and those stuff.
Wow. Coach is plenty work, that man.
Yes, man. Absolutely. And it puts them in a frame of mind that they have the confidence to go to Trinidad and perform well, you know.
How big is the team on the different age groups?
Well, 30 is a count. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, 17. Yeah. And just to add in, I can't leave out this point. We have 2 superstars beside us, really. And Addison was the Goodwill champion and record holder in the 100 free last year. And Kai, I saw a picture came up earlier where he won the 100 breaststroke in his age group. So I know that building off that, they should be really confident going forward.
Yeah, I like the humility.
Yeah,
who might they be concerned about here?
Well,
you don't have to name, just which country.
Yeah, so not concerned, but we know that it's going to be a challenging feat, and that's Trinidad. It's their home, so they have home court advantage, and they're looking forward to try and beating Bahamas and winning it. And so Bahamas winning it for 6 times in a row. We, Jamaica, and others, I'm sure, are going to try and stop that.
And where have we landed in all those 6 times?
4th last year, I believe, 2022. We'll get to believe that we were 2nd. The last time we won it was 2003. So we're trying to change that.
2003?
Yeah, we're trying to change
22 year that coach?
Yeah. So we're working hard at it. Our
chances this year?
Let us see. I believe that the team is ready. I believe that all age groups are strong. And I believe that all of them, once they put out the effort, anything is possible.
Addison said national training 2 days a week. Is that enough, coach? I think we know train like every single day, all 9 times a day.
2 days a week for the national program is pretty okay.
Why?
But, well, they train every day otherwise for the club that they're with.
Yeah.
So it works out. It's the mileage that counts and obviously the skill set. And so their coach is separate from us. They're working with them. And as a result, when we get them, then we take it a little further.
Boy, traveling and sport overall is an expensive deal. Where want to get money from to do all of this, please?
Well, I'm happy you asked me that because I have some sponsors here to mention really quickly.
Yeah, man.
I want to just really shout out La Shushan Supermarket, Vein Centers of Jamaica, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, Omni Industries, Hawkeye Security, Classic Jewelers, Wisinco, provision of hydration through their brand Powerade. And last but not least, we have Classic Jewelers, Colors of Jamaica, and Norinco International.
Yeah. The country is Trinidad and Tobago, but have you ever been to Trinidad, which I suspect is where it's going to be held?
Correct, yes. That's what's
you ever been to Trinidad?
No,
Addison?
never.
Yeah, so where you've been abroad representing us before. Where have you gone?
Well, the first time I represented Jamaica was 2023, but Goodwill was held in Jamaica. So technically the first time I've been outside of the country to represent is last year, which was 2024 Goodwill in St. Lucia.
Oh, great. Kai, is a pool? So the same kind of water everywhere you go, or is it the pool in Trinidad maybe different from here in Jamaica? Is it the same thing?
No, to be honest.
It's not the same thing?
No. There's a different feeling. When you touch the water in certain places, you feel better and maybe feel a little worse compared to your home.
Oh, good luck. Congrats again to making the Jamaica team, coach. Good luck.
Yeah, man.
And when you win the gold medal, come back and say.
And just quickly, just support what we're doing on Saturday.
Quickly.
Yeah, man. Support what we're doing on Saturday, a car wash at the stadium, 7 a.m. So bring your cars out and let us take care of that for you.
And then you'll get some money for them.
Yeah, man.
Ramon Lowe is the assistant coach of the national swim team. Addison Thomas going to win every single thing. And Kai Radcliffe going, whatever she don't win, him going to win. Not a problem. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
And don't give away the Jamaica shirt unless them give a nice one. And when we come back, we speak to the 2025 Schools Challenge Quiz champions. That's Titchfield High, right after the second edition of News in 5. Stay with us, please. Soon come.
Good morning. I'm Shamela Pullen with News in 5. Special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. The death toll in neighboring Dominican Republic continues to grow. This amid ongoing search operations. The Dominican Republic is a Caribbean nation that shares the island of Hispaniola with Haiti to the west. Details from the CNN.
Fernández Reyes, Joel Manuel Santana Pion.
The names read out loud by forensic doctors, each of them alive, cut short. More than 100 bodies have been recovered, but dozens yet to be identified in the rooftop collapse of a nightclub in Santo Domingo. A growing death toll cutting through the soul of this nation. The Jet Set was an iconic venue. Monday night, many local celebrities had come here to celebrate its 50th anniversary. Several are now being mourned, including 2 former Major League Baseball players, a Latin music star, and the governor of a local province. Dominican President Luis Abinader declared 3 days of national mourning to commemorate the victims. Outside the venue, relatives search for the names of their loved ones in lists hanging on a field hospital. I've lost 2 brothers. This is a national tragedy. We are just heartbroken, says this man. The rescue operations continue in the dark. There are still people to be found, a race against time even when hope is fading fast. A small group of faithful singing their pain and refusing to let go.
To other news back home, public passenger vehicle operators will soon be able to import their vehicles directly from manufacturers overseas. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced on Monday Cabinet revised the 2014 PPV importation policy. This allows tax compliant operators to source and purchase vehicles without going through a dealer or their associations.
To apply for an import license in his company's name or his personal name. He has the option to import that vehicle directly by going online to the auctions, going to direct to suppliers in Japan or wherever else, and buy it at source, which means that he is not being held to the point of where he has to pay additional cost to dealers, middlemen, whoever you call it. Before, you had to use a tax association that you are a member of.
The policy will last for 2 years. However, Mr. Vaz didn't say how soon it will come into effect. He says the ministry will be collaborating with the trade board to determine the most efficient way to proceed. The vehicles can have seating capacity for up to 32 people.
For the public passenger transport sector, imported vehicles with seating capacity not exceeding 8 persons must not be older than 10 years, up from 8 years. Imported vehicles with seating capacity between 12 and 15 persons must not be older than 15 years. And imported vehicles without seating capacity between 26 and 32 seats must not be older than 15 years.
Member of Parliament for St. Catharines Southern Fitz Jackson is pushing for the local authorities to addressed the issue of unoccupied lots contributing to bushfires in section of Helsha, Portmore. During a recent visit to the Sand Hills Bay and Sand Hills Vista, the MP stressed that the issue was putting homes and lives at risk. He says he will be speaking to the Municipal Corporation and the Urban Development Corporation, which developed the 2 housing schemes, about holding persons accountable.
By law, as I recall, the municipality can put a caveat on the property for failures or breaches that the owners might be guilty of. And many of these owners, private owners, live abroad. And the question of being able to locate them in a timely way to cause them to do what they ought to do.
Divisional Commander for the St. Catherine Fire Brigade, Superintendent Dennis Lyon, says firefighters have responded to 95 bushfires alone over a 4-day period more than a week ago. However, he says investigations show that a lot of the fires in Sand Hills was being deliberately set, and urged farmers not to engage in any slash and burn activities to clear lands, and residents to be careful when lighting fires during this dry, windy period. And that's the news in 5. I'm Shimela Pullen. Join us again for the midday news. On behalf of the entire team, have a wonderful day. Stay tuned for more Smile Jamaica with Neville and Delia.
General knowledge, the 2023 Argyle Declaration was a joint declaration of maritime peace between which 2 countries? Titchfield High.
Venezuela and Guyana. Venezuela and Guyana.
That's right. Geography, which country was the world's leading producer of bauxite in JC?
Australia.
Australia.
No, in 2024 it was Guinea. That is the bell. All right. Careful, careful. That's the bell. That's the end of the final challenge.
It wasn't me, and I was so nervous. Today we're joined by the incredible team from Titchfield High School, the winners of the 56th season of Schools Challenge Quiz. This marks their 2nd victory since 2016, showcasing their impressive knowledge and teamwork. And joining us this morning are Alex Anderson, Quayne Smith, Orlando Lee, and Romaine Smith. Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
How has it been? I mean, I'm seeing videos, but tell me, how does it feel? You got back to Portland, the winners.
Definitely. I mean, it has been an ecstatic journey. Having won the grand finals 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
I mean, in some sense, we're still in that honeymoon phase right now.
Yeah.
But in some senses, as a team, we are still in shock. Yeah. Not in shock that we didn't expect to win, but in shock that everything that we have worked for has finally come to fruition.
Yeah. Quayne, it's a special victory, I think, because at one point, the team would have thought to itself, we're not going to make it to the final. But then when you heard you were in the final, what was that like? Like, you kick into a different gear?
Yeah. It was, after the 3rd place playoff, like, we went back to our normal lives and everything. But once we got the call that we were back in the finals, our whole mindset have changed. Like, we were ready. We were ready.
You're ready. Well, I know Orlando still hasn't got like, Orlando brought in the trophy this morning, like him carried to home, go sleep, like it was tucked away. You're What is Titchfield saying? Your classmates, everybody in Portland?
The whole Titchfield family and the quiz family are proud of their quiz team that they came home the trophy.
Yeah, I'm proud of you guys too. Romaine, talk to me a little bit about what was the preparation like leading up to this?
Well, you know, getting back in the groove and all these things, it was challenging, you know, but you know, as champions, we have to push through the challenges and embrace each challenge. It's a final preparation. It was very, you know, it is what made us champions. It was what prepared us for the game. It was prepared us to win.
Listen, it was a tough game, Alex. Like they showed the end of it and we were like,
nail biting, was it?
Yeah. What is it that makes you keep that kind of composure, that regardless of what the score is saying, I'm still heading towards victory?
Belief. That's the word I like to use, belief.
Okay.
Belief that irrespective of what the score is saying, we can still come out on top. I mean, if you watch the game just now, you realize that I think we pressed under 10 seconds or about. So that's really a nail biter. The entire game came down to the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's what quiz is really. You have to play the game in its entirety. No game is won or lost in the opening section, and almost never won or lost in the minutes. It all comes down to the buzzer section. And it also comes down to the team. A grand finals is really just a flashy match. It's really just like any other game that you would play. Just that
So you
this
can't
one
be distracted by the bells and whistles.
Right, you can't. And actually, that's what made us on the night the better team. We were better able to control the atmosphere that we were in. We were better able to not get carried away with ourselves. Focus on the game plan, focus playing our game, and focus bringing home the trophy.
I know you touched Orlando. I mean, like Orlando, I take him higher fight since him coming up. Like if him go back and the security stop him, I don't know what's going to happen. So there's a video of the match that's making the rounds on social media. I think my producer has it. Can I see that video?
Yes, good French. Which specific meal in English is le riz frit et poisson? Yes, Titchfield.
Fried rice and fish.
That's correct, Internet.
Alex, why were you so passionate about fried rice and fish?
Well, not necessarily just fried rice and fish, but what Jamaica is really seeing is testament to not just how I play, but how my teammates and how we play. We don't treat quiz just like it's any other thing. We, just like many other Jamaicans from a rural area, we come from families and backgrounds that don't always get this kind of exposure. So now when we're offered the chance to showcase to the entire world, or school, or communities, or families, we do it with pride. And that's the reason why I play the way I play. That's the reason my teammates, we play the way we play. We play hard because we know what we stand for. We're representing a school, a parish, our families, and of course ourselves.
Queen, you ever eat fried rice and fish?
No, I haven't.
Any of you ever did? I was like, why am I being like him eat it before? But that's beautiful. So where school spirit is very strong at Titchfield.
Definitely.
Orlando, talk to me about that, because we saw the principal rolling out the red carpet and everybody in the community coming out. Talk to me about the Titchfield spirit.
A Titchfield spirit, lovely spirit, and a very supporting spirit.
Yeah.
Our victory means as much as it means to us as to them.
Yeah, I got that impression, Ramin. Like every single person. Like when they heard you were going to the final, what did your classmates say? Them say, Lord, nobody go. Or them say, yes, go.
They say, yes, go, man.
Yes, go. Definitely, yes, go, man. Yes, go.
Definitely, yes, go.
Yeah, and you felt confident that you were able to go.
Yes, we were.
All right, so I want to know what happens from here for everybody. Alex, what's next for you?
Are you ready?
I'm very ready.
You sure you're ready?
I'm fried fish and
Let's go.
ready.
So I'm intending to head to university straight after this. I mean, just to keep this momentum, this academic momentum going. And like I said, if you're ready, I want to be a corporate attorney at law, civil rights attorney, a politician, a businessman, a writer, and an advocate for human rights.
You can do it.
Definitely.
I believe you. Write about your advocacy as a politician who is doing corporate law. You see me wrap up everything one time? Hey, yeah! Queen! Talk to me. What's next for you?
It's just like to continue my hard work in school, dedication.
What grade are you in?
9.
Hey! All right, so you're a young star at Titchfield.
Yeah, it's just to get back in the groove of school and catch up on exam and all those stuff.
Yeah, pressure now, Yeah?
I can manage it.
Orlando, what grade are you in?
Grade 10.
Grade 10. So what's next?
Just to prepare for my final exam, I'm a CXC.
Yeah. What are your career aspirations?
To be in the army.
To be in the army?
Which comes as no surprise if you know Orlando. He's a serious person.
Please, that's the calling. I would agree with him. And for you, Romain?
For me, it's CSEC next. So
CSEC?
I'm in the groove of getting back into CSEC preparation.
Yeah.
To get my subjects.
And your career aspiration?
I want to be a robotics engineer.
You want to be a?
Robotics engineer.
A robotics engineer?
Yes.
Okay. I love it. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
I tell somebody when Jesus say yes.
Nobody can say no.
Only Anthony Miller, but that's another story.
Definitely.
Great to meet you. Well earned.
I mean, before we go...
Yes, you have some people for big.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to do that, you know.
Quickly, before time runs up on me.
So many people... You give me 4 minutes?
Yes.
All right, let's go. So, I mean, Jamaica would have seen the team win the match, and we just like to give thanks to the individuals who also participate in this. You see the team, but the team is not the only persons, or are not the only person who put in the work, you know. There are many other persons in this. So we just want to shout out Auntie Moya, Mrs. Pauline Chinsu, Dr. Strong, Dr. Bersha Cole, Dr. Donald Rod, Miss Natalia Godfrey, the Brahms Texaco, the gas station in Port Antonio, the school admin, they've supported us entirely, our alumni all over the world, both here in Jamaica and abroad, our past players, our parents, and of course the coaches who will continue to give of themselves, you know, Mr. Chase Roberts and Alpha Sparks. Thank you all this season. The victory for this season is much yours as it is ours. We've all fought for this, we've all competed for this, and of course, we can't live without God.
No.
Like we said, if it wasn't for him, none of this would have been possible.
Amen.
Definitely.
A coach that in the Teachfield Cape?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Look here.
That is Batman Cape, you know?
Coach, come in at the Teachfield Cape, you know, like him ready to fly. Come, coach, fly right in quickly. Fly in. I have to make on see him because I'm not going to think I lie, me I tell. Coach, fly in, come fly. Fly, man, fly. If him going to quick, I'm lift up off of the ground with the Teachfield. See me? All right, sit down right beside me, man. Him, all right. Coach, congrats, you know. Says the two coaches.
Definitely, yeah.
Congrats. We got to go, but Teachfield, my cousins will never let me live it down there from Teachfield. I'm going to Teachfield. All right. Smile Jamaica continues. 2025 Schools Challenge Quiz Champions. Teachfield High, represented by Alex Anderson, Quayne Smith, Orlando Lee, and Romaine Smith, and the two big coach them.
All right, so a few weeks ago, an American mother shared that she refused to allow her child's father to take her to Disney World. She says that this is an attempt to not punish her children for her bad decisions. Is her ultimatum justified, or is she being unfair to the father or her child? Hold on, run that again. It's right there. She says this is an, right there, attempt to not punish her children for her bad decisions? Oh, so she was asking the father to take the other children.
Correct.
Oh.
Correct.
Okay, I was. So she says he was a stepfather to her other kids when they were together, and they were no longer together. The trip would have been for 5 days. The trip was planned by the father's family. The mother said the other siblings would have been upset if they did not get to go on the trip. The trip would have been during spring break. The daughter was uninvited from the trip after the mother posted the video on TikTok. The mother has since been asking for donations to help fund the trip for her children. What do you say?
I think the argument of not hurting the other children's feelings is valid. I think it should be an ask more than a directive.
Yeah.
And I don't think punishing her children for her bad decisions is
the way to go?
Well, I don't think that should be the lead in the conversation. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's his child, and so his parental rights should allow him to do what he wants to do for his child. But I feel like if you rationally explain, if he's been a stepfather to the other children, it means he does care for them. And so I think if you rationally explain to him that at the end of the day, it's going to make the others feel bad, it's going to put a little resentment towards your child when the child comes back into the home, then I feel like he would be a little bit more, meet her halfway kind of.
So the question would be, is it fair to force the father to accept?
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
It's not your child, but you still have it.
Yeah,
and
that's
if you don't take the child.
That's what I'm saying. Forcing was not the
not
the way to go. But I feel, at the end of the day, he loves his child, and if you also allow him to see how harmful it could be to the child, he may be a little bit more accepting. Because at the end of the day, you also don't want to have children in one environment and some feeling like they're better than the others or some feeling less than the others.
I don't know the story, obviously. It's the first I hear about it, to be honest. But I am thinking, I wonder what went on between mother and father. You know, like is there a little underlying vexation thing? And say, well, we broke up now. I'm not your kid's stepfather anymore, so I don't have no responsibility there anymore. I wonder if that would have been a part of it also.
Possibly. So her saying the children suffering for her bad decisions is also valid.
would suggest that I'm not certain with the bad decision being I shouldn't have been with him in the first place.
I think maybe not just him, but just you know, that's the mixed families and blended families sometimes have that kind of issue. And I feel like maybe, and you're right, Neville, it needs a little history.
Yeah.
Because why would he have agreed to be a stepfather
in the first place
to the other children? And I don't like that. I feel like if you're in a relationship and these children are not biologically yours, but they have grown in an environment where you are the person they know as dad, if you and the mother separate, you still have those children. They're children. You still have those children.
But would the mother, if me and you finish now, you go there tell me, say, I don't want you around my kids
because
anymore.
Your children.
Right, I don't want you around my kids anymore. Again, you need a little background.
Yeah, but for a mother to do that is also extremely wrong. And that's why I say to people, when you have children, you have to be a little bit more careful about the decisions you make, who you introduce into your child's life. Sometimes you meet them and them want to push on the picnic them. Say, Uncle so and so man, go and go. Push the picnic them, and then the children become emotionally attached. And when you detach, you don't care that the child is still attached. You just say, no, I'm not coming here anymore, and don't call the house and don't look for my children.
Well, all right, so make we go on like we know what we're going. So me and you done, and not your kid's stepfather anymore.
Right.
And I don't, me and you not deep. Me I carry out my personal daughter and I say, well, we're not together anymore. Something wrong with that?
So I would say, in principle, it's not wrong. But again, I'm going to go back to...
But because I was involved in the first place.
Yeah. And I feel like once you have children, they come first. Any decision you make must.
It's interesting that you say that.
When you have children, they come first. They have to be the priority in the decisions that you make. And it's always great to just keep amicable.
It's interesting that you say that because that take up big man thing and big woman thing. To say, all right, you were the kid's stepfather. We break up now. I don't want to see you. I'm in a relationship, but you still can come and see them when you want. You can take them out, and if they want to see you, it's a big man move that.
Yeah.
Because if I come to look for them now and I see the new gentleman, we could have an issue with that now and say, well, you know.
Him not come there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This one interesting.
No, I like my...
But I like what you said.
I have
the kids come
my
first.
sister, like my dad had her before. He married my mom. And when I tell people that my sister's sister used to live with us, let me say, what you mean? Somebody say, yeah, my sister's mom had her daughter wanted to come to Kingston to go to school. And she said to my mom, if she can, come stay with us. And she did. And so I said to people, sometimes maybe when I speak, I'm speaking from a position that may be rare, I don't know, because sometimes I may hear people talk about families and them vex and this and one. I've never had that experience. Like me and my sister, them just so very, like my cousin, my mother sometimes when I say your favorite daughter, come look for you, which is my dad's daughter.
Yeah, well,
so, you know,
you know my story. And even in my family, my father obviously has, well, some people call them half brother, half sister. They're my brothers and my sisters. But there are other people in my family who say, no, if it's not mama and dada,
It's not them.
It's not them. Them don't relate to us.
All of my sister, them families.
No, I agree with you, and I am like that. But there are other people who say, so me and Delia, we have kids, and if it's my kids now, them say, well, no, it's them not them sister or brother because it's not me and Delia.
Yeah.
And some people are like that. But I just find I have never ever said half brother or half sister, brother and my sister, because my father's child. It's not my mother's child. And I know families would say, well, if it's not my mother's child, it's not my brother, it's not my sister.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But,
and you know, in this instance, it's saying stepfather, but in real life, you have some people where it's never no stepfather. It's the one child. Them have with the one person, and it is still contentious.
Yeah. And you have stepfathers, you know, who behave like they are the real dads.
Yeah.
I know kids who know that it was a stepfather and change them name for the stepfather name because he was so good to them.
It's interesting. I was watching a movie last night, and the girl, you know, she had a little girls and dads, and then she found out that he wasn't her biological father. So she went in search of the biological father, and when she found him, she said, you know, you're my dad. And he said to her, the other man really is who grew you. And she said, no, but you're my dad. And he said something to her that I found so prolific. He said, there are facts, and then there's what is true.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the fact is he's biological, but what is true is this man is your father.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love that story. Love that story. All right, folks. Hope you got something out of that. It can be a little bit confusing when you have the external family and the immediate family, and some people can't deal with the external family. You know? Some people say, just me and you.
Yeah.
Just me and you.
No.
All right, that's it for He Said, She Said. Very interesting. Soon come. But when we come back, we learn about anxiety disorders, and that happens in 10 minutes to your health. Soon come, folks.
You know what? It's normal to have some anxiety. You may feel anxious or nervous if you have to tackle a problem, but an anxiety disorder goes beyond the regular nervousness and the slight fear you might feel from time to time. Clinical psychologist Dr. Pernell Bell joins us, and she's going to help us better understand anxiety disorders. Good morning,
morning, Dr. Bell.
Good morning, Neville. Good morning, Delia.
How are you, Dr.
And how
Bell?
are you guys?
How are you?
Hope not anxious. Like me.
Let me start in a serious way by what is anxiety in the first place? When somebody says, you know, they have anxiety, what does that mean in the first place?
That's a good place to begin, because an anxiety, as Delia earlier said, is just a normal human response to a situation. For example, I'm coming on TVJ this morning, and I have some level of anxiety around, am I going to be saying the right thing? Are the words going to be coming to me? So those are, anxiety is just our normal response that may entail uneasiness, a little discomfort, worry, or fear, and that's normal.
Is anxiety and being nervous the same thing, or that's two different things?
Could be a symptom of the anxiety. So that means your nervous system becomes engaged, and you go maybe into, or not maybe, but you go into fight and flight, where there's just this uneasiness that could make you feel nauseous or dizzy, or, you know, have that feeling of you're not going to be doing well, or something is going to happen.
Help me to recognize when it becomes a disorder and not just, you know, day-to-day nervousness. What are some of the symptoms of anxiety disorder?
All right, so anything that becomes excessive and exaggerated without cause becomes an issue in terms of anxiety. So if the person on every occasion, whatever it is, maybe having fast breathing, restlessness, sweating, may have hot flashes or nausea, or being on pins and needles, and that is constantly going on, especially in some specific situations and sometimes non-specific situations, we could say that person is experiencing anxiety disorder because it has now affected the person's ability to function effectively, both maybe in a social setting and also occupationally or socially.
Yeah. Dr. Bell, my mom suffered from panic attacks. Is that the same thing? And I found out then because I said, Mama, nothing wrong with you. But then when we spoke about it, you said, even though there's nothing necessarily physically wrong, she genuinely feels something really and truly goes up. Is it the same thing we're talking about here or no?
So panic attacks are different from an anxiety attack. So the panic attack would be, for example, an exaggerated, over the top, overwhelming feeling that is frequent and can come out of nowhere. So the person may be somewhere and then begin to feel some of the feelings that I just made mention of.
Yeah.
And that frequency is what, and excessiveness, that would make it a panic attack.
Okay.
Do you have different types of anxiety disorders, Doc?
Sure. So there is what we call generalized anxiety disorder. And this is a constant state of worry that this individual may be in, persistently feeling this dread. And there's no known cause. So the individual may be anxious in response to some non-specific things. So that would be one, generalized anxiety. And then you have phobic disorders. And these phobic disorders would be, for example, irrational fear of an object or a situation. For example, many people in Jamaica are afraid of lizards. And we know that lizards are very harmless. I have never heard of one attacking anyone. I see you looking today like, what's that? You are?
No, me too. Me afraid of them bad.
So it is that phobic response now would be irrational because a lizard never attack anybody and kill them or do anything. So having that fear becomes irrational. And then there is social anxiety, meaning that sometimes there's a fear of others, watching or judging us. And that we're afraid to go out into social settings, maybe to give presentations and so on.
Yeah. Dr. Purnell, do I get to the stage that I know that, no, man, I mean, this is getting way past what I think anxiety should be. Do I get to that stage that I think that I might even need help on all of this, or I wouldn't know?
Yes, because there is an awareness that your fear is irrational. So both of you said you are afraid of lizard. I'm sure you know that that is really an irrational fear. And I have seen so many persons who have had this irrational fear of lizard. So you know it is irrational, but it's as if you cannot control that fear. And so that's why it becomes a disorder.
Mm-hmm. How is it treated? What, if I come to you and I tell you all this and you know that I'm suffering from an anxiety disorder, how is that treated?
So there are a number of ways that it is treated. So for example, we have psychotherapy, which is talk therapy. And the premise of talk therapy, which would be like a cognitive behavioral therapy, is that thoughts affect feelings. Feelings are going to affect our behavior. So your thought that what is it that this lizard, for example, is going to do you? And in this phobic response, and you will reason that maybe nothing. And the therapist would help you to understand your thought process and how it is driving that feeling and ultimately the behavior of nervousness and avoidance and fear. And there is also medication. So it may reach a severity that a psychiatrist may have to be part of the team that deals with this individual and help the individual through medication. Another technique is self-help techniques too that we could help individuals to say, when you're going through these anxiety attacks, these are some of the things that you could do. There's a groundbreaking therapy for you, Neville, and also Dahlia, that is called emotional freedom technique. And this is a technique that you actually tap points on your body. And it is, the premise is that tapping these points is where the fear and the anxiety are housed. And when we release those, the fear of lizards, the fear of whatever it is that your phobic response that you have will go away. I'd love to do that with you. Come back on Smile Jamaica to demonstrate how that works. It's simple, but very effective.
Doc, we invite you to come. Because
I will.
Up to last night, if I tell you how a lizard have me running up and down, it wasn't pretty.
You will be a good testimony after this works. You will see a lizard and then see it as just another ordinary creature that is not harmful at all.
All right. Dr. Purnell, very, very well explained. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yes, because they're looking.
I have not slept a wink since yesterday because of this lizard, so I would love to.
God bless you and the family. Thanks for speaking with us.
All right, thank you for having me. Bye.
It's our pleasure. Clinical psychologist, Dr. Purnell Bell. 10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday. It's the first time I went and asked General Soldier to be on my team, because this is unfair. Right? How Jamaican are you? You know what I call this lady? The culture queen. Eh? I call her the culture queen. She know every single riddle, every single thing about Jamaica. It's me against her. Well, it's me and General Soldier going against her.
God, me lose, you know.
We're so cool.
Kyle, no, it's all right, forget it.
I kind of have a feeling that I'm not going to have any fun in this fun stuff.
Lots of fun.
No, by the way, the producer's name is Christine, and I did love her up to about 2 minutes ago. How can I go against the culture queen?
No, set me up, because I might not care answer some of them.
So our Jamaicanness will be tested with the use of Jamaican proverbs.
Mighty God.
So we'll be given the first half of a Jamaican proverb, which we must complete. For each proverb that we get correct, we're allowed to take a step forward. Each incorrect, we take a step. Well, you know how that road. You know how that road. Clivus, you know how that road be going to reach. You ever say, how that road you want to see me? When you see me on the road, just a walk back.
Crossroads never is coming your way.
All right, me I'll take the first one and show this so we can deal with this. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
What sweet nanny go run your belly?
Hey! See you good.
Actually, I didn't say run your belly.
Never see come see.
See come out, Soji. You know the wrong man me pick. Trudy. Kyle. When me ask Kyle for? Vinny. See come out, huh? You lose your teeth? Me no hear no ding, you know, say it so. I don't know. So, see come out, fish get catch. I first me hear that. You didn't know that?
I would have did tell you what Vinny said.
You remember when Dahlia said crossroads?
I'm not going to tell you what Vinny said.
Go on, your time.
Finger never said, look here. Oh my God. Finger never said.
Well, she said, oh my God, that right.
Wait, no, my marriage.
Finger never say look here.
Don't ramp with me.
It's say look there.
Right. Two away I go across roads. Where I go?
No, him say look there, look yonder.
Look there and look yonder is two different things.
That it mean, look
First thing she said.
Yonder is not a Jamaican word. I gotta tell you. The proverb is, it never say look here, it say look there.
Coward man keeps on board.
Yes!
Soji.
You shake man and you don't know him art?
Come back beside me, please. She said it already.
Me say it, right.
Come back beside me. You reached crossroads before me. Don't know that she just said. This is that she said. I same thing, man. I will give it to her. Oh, yeah, about 3 steps, you take a while.
How many take two?
Pit in the sky. Pit in the sky. Dropping in your eye. Soldier, you finally get one.
It fall in your eye. When I get them English pound a fret, answer. Well, me not gonna say answer complaint, but answer worry.
Thank you.
Pound a fret, can't pay answer that true.
You go too far, man. One step, right beside me.
My foot long.
Next one. Next one. Good friend better than pocket money.
I want to look up the answer complaint though, you know, because something goes so. Not true. Rockstone and river bottom. See, the soldier tell me.
My team, you're the pan.
Rockstone and river bottom.
No, the worst man in the world.
No sun hot, no sun light, no sun shine.
No. Why you pick soldier? It's my team, you're the pan. Me never see nothing say that in my life.
Me love soldier.
Me don't love the soldier at all. No. Me don't with soldier, man.
Me love the soldier. Soldier can answer every proverb.
It's my team, you're the pan. Hungry and full. I have no idea.
God.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know either.
And Dila says she don't know. So me take the step back.
Full.
Oh, I know you fit talk. Nobody knows that. Hungry and full. No.
Not trouble same pass.
First me hear that. I don't know it either. Well, me don't feel bad.
I never think you come in another one day. Pass and Chris in picnic fuss.
Go forward. Next one. Rain never fall. You see your life funny?
Rain never fall. In a house? I don't remember that.
Somebody said something a while ago. How? Safas, tell me.
Safas, it says so.
Rain never fall.
Pan one house top. The same thing.
Rain never fall at one man door. No, it's not the same.
No, meaning it don't fall one place. So it not fall pan one house top.
No, I say one house top, you say one man door. You're not taking it.
Ah, Jesus.
No, I want to get it right. All right,
and everything comes from above a blessing.
What's that? Go on forward. If you can't get turkey, get chicken. No. I know. No.
Crossroads. What is it?
Here
you can't get turkey.
You have to satisfy with
junk. I wasn't going to get that either.
No.
I think that proverb is a no. Long run, short catch.
Clive, don't laugh.
Never I get some tough one.
Before good food spoil, eat it.
Yeah, me.
Belly boss. Let me say.
You get it?
Me never get it, man. I'll Clive tell me. Them say here is a strong word.
Take where you get till you get where you want.
Them say here it is a strong word, but me hear soldier.
Where out? The more you look.
The more you look is the less you see. Delia got.
No, I think you deserve the trophy for that last one. That's why I wouldn't get it.
Delia got the trophy. That's it?
Yeah.
That's it for the show.
Never gonna get that last one.
No, Soji, I'll never use it for my team again. Get it, you know. It's all. And the champion is...
No, we both are gonna share it.
No,
You
I
get
tell
so
you,
hard proverb when I couldn't answer.
No, but I tell you that you are the queen of culture. Thank you so much. I'll be here tomorrow with Sim. We'll talk about the in the streets about chicken. Have you ever wondered what goes into poultry farming? We'll learn the ins and outs of the chicken business from a young female entrepreneur. Plus, meet a talented artist who creates lifelike works of art.
Yeah.
Works of art. Whew.
Thought for the day, if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way.
Know where the kids are all the time. Tell them you love them, folks. Blessings and love. Thanks again for watching. Y'all take care.